Hello everyone. In this session, I would like to discuss one end-to-end flow. Okay, end-to-end flow means my client application is there. My client application is going to communicate with server application. My server is going to communicate with my database. So let me draw the diagram first, and then we talk about the development. So this is my client-side application. So in my client-side application, there has one form is there. Okay, just think. Just take two fields. Okay, they don't take more than that. Name and roll number. Okay. After that, one button is there. Submit button. Now, if I enter some data inside this text box and inside this text box, at the time of clicking on the submit button, this data I want to store within my database. That's my requirement. Which database? I want to use MySQL. I want to use MySQL. MySQL. So this is my client application I want to create by using React. Now my client application directly, any client application, either it's a React or Angular or JavaScript or jQuery, any client application directly not able to communicate with the database. So that in between one middleware is required. One middleware is required. That middleware we can say like a server side technology or server side application. It's like a server. As part of this one, I want to use the React is like a client. My Node.js is like a server. Okay, my Node.js Express with Express. Node.js with Express. I want to use like a server-side application. So at the time of clicking on this particular button, I want to write one endpoint here. Okay, I want to hit that endpoint. Okay, this is my request. We can say once you send the request, this server side guy is going to processing the request and perform required operation. My operation is like this data I want to store within my database. And once my processing is completed, it has to give the response back. Okay, simple requirement. That's it. End-to-end flow. Client to server, server to my database. So here, just create one database like a school database. School is my database. Inside this, student is my table. Student is my table. Done. Finally, our goal is what? At the time of clicking on the submit button, whatever the data is there, that data I want to store within the student table. That's it. So for this, what things are required? First, you have to create a React application. Yeah, I already create a React application. This is my React application by using create React app command. I already created. Okay, let me open this React application in my Visual Studio Code. This is the one. This is my React application. At the same time, I'm running this application also. Okay, by using which command? Npm start is the command. If you want to get some more information, just watch my React videos. Okay, just skeleton only. We talk about the development now. Okay, yes, my React application is running. How you can check is it running or not? If you want to check, just do localhost 3000. Localhost 3000. Here something written here another. Okay, just you can write like written. Okay, small. That's it. Yeah. Hello. My hello printed or not? But my requirement is what? I don't want to show like hello. I want to show this particular form or not. I want to show this particular form. This form I want to show in the client side. Okay, and then I created one server application also. So this is my node application. By using Express framework, I created this application. Let me open that application in my Visual Studio Code. Yes, this is my node application. Okay, let me run this node application. Let me run this node application. Okay, how we can run it? Just open terminal by using one command called as a node mon yap. Again, if you want to know how we created this particular application by using Express framework, just watch my node videos. Okay, Node.js videos, just watch. Okay, yes, I'm running my node application. Yes, it's running. Okay, which port number it is running means just open your app.js. Open your app.js. Here, if you observe, my application is running on 2020 port number. If you want to check, just check it. Localhost 2020 is my port number. Okay, just wait. Yes, 2020 is my port number. And then I want to create one database. Inside this, I want to create one table so that my database server has to run. MySQL database server has to run first. So I already installed MySQL database through Jam. So that this is my Jam. Let me start Apache and MySQL. It's a Jam open source software. Okay, it provides these many services. Just use Apache and MySQL. Just click on it. Just click on it. Once get started, click on it. Then the time you can see this localhost php myadmin, it's open. Now these many databases already there. I want to create one database, new database. What is my database name? School is my database. School is my database. Just create it. And then create a table. My table name, you can just give the name like students. Okay, how many fields are required? Only 2 fields. Just 2 fields are enough. 2 fields enough. If you know one field how to insert, 100 fields are there. What's wrong with that? Okay, so that just work with 2 fields only. Name. What's my type? Varchar. Just you can give like 50 characters. Okay, my roll number. My roll number. Roll number. Okay, this also you can say like integer. Just you can put like okay 2 numbers. That's it. Just save it. Yes, my database ready. Okay, and my table also ready. My database is up and running. See this. This is only the proof. Yes, my database is up and running or not. So my server-side application can connect with the database. Perfect. Now let's start. Let's work on the server-side application first. Inside the server-side application, open the routes folder. Okay, this particular skeleton you can get it by using Express framework. By using Express framework, just watch my Node.js video how to get this particular skeleton. Now open this users one. Okay, here you can create one endpoint. My endpoint, what is the functionality I want to write? I want to insert some data inside this particular table. Okay, I want to insert the data inside this particular table. So that for that I want to write one endpoint. So router dot post is the method I want to use. Okay, register student is my path and take my function. My post method take 2 arguments. Okay, here in this case, okay, you can write one more function also. One is like path, another one is like function. This function called by passing 3 arguments: request comma, response comma, next. Okay, which data you're expecting? Name and roll number. So that get the data first from the request. I'm expecting the data through request body. Through request body is nothing but in the JSON object format. How many ways we can pass the data? Through query parameters you can pass it, through path parameters you can pass it, through headers you can pass it, through payload you can pass it. Okay, through request body, that payload you can say like a request body. Okay, all these things we discussed in my Node.js videos. Go through that. Request.body is nothing but through payload in the form of JSON. So get the data, my name comma roll number. Perfect. Now this data I want to insert which database? In MySQL database. So that just install one library called as a MySQL. First install the library. How we can install? Open one more terminal, npm install MySQL -save. It takes some time. While installing this command, while running this command, make sure your internet should be enabled. Why? Because this MySQL library we are getting from cloud to your local machine. Where inside this particular folder, inside node modules it's going to place. So that make sure your internet should be enabled. Not only this one, any library you install through npm, internet should be enabled. Yes, if you see this package.json, yes, my MySQL is there or not. Once my MySQL install, get the MySQL. That MySQL equals to require MySQL. Yeah. Now, once you get the MySQL, inside MySQL, there has one method is there, create connection, to establish the connection with my local MySQL server. So give some information about local MySQL server. Where is my MySQL is running? In my local host. Okay, with which port number it is running? By default 3306 is my port number. What is my username? Okay, at the time of installing my MySQL through Jam, I given the username is like root. My password I didn't give, so that password is empty. My database is like school is my database. Yes. Now my create connection returns me one connection object. Once you get the connection object with this information, just try to connect with my MySQL server. How we can connection dot connect is the method. It's take one callback function. Once my connection established, either successfully established or failure, whatever it is. It provides some information like this. So if it is like failure, if it is like a failure, you can say like DB connection error. One message you can give it. If error is there, you can give like response dot send off. Okay, DB connection error. DB connection error. See this. This is the asynchronous call, you can say. While connecting with my MySQL server, how much time it will take, I don't know. Okay, what is the response after your task completed? What is the response? Either successfully completed or failure. I don't know that one. So that if you give one callback method to my connect method only call that function by passing these values. If error is there, you can say like you can conclude like it's a you have an error by while connecting with that particular MySQL server. You face one error. What is that error? Okay, maybe DB connection error is nothing but this one is wrong, this one is wrong, this one is wrong, anything. Okay, if error is not there, then you can say like what? Error is not there is nothing but it's success only. That means with this information, I am able to connect with this particular server, MySQL server, with database, with the school database or not. Once I connected with the school database, inside the school database, there has one table is there, students table. I want to insert the data or not. If you want to insert the data within the student table, if it is like success, see, I'm talking about success now. If it's a failure, you can give the message like response.send DB connection error. If it is success, not failure is nothing but success only. Okay, just create one query. What is my query? Insert into students my values or what? Insert into students my values or okay, the first one is like varchar, so that you can use like backticks. Backticks you can use it with single code you can pass the data. What is my data? Name. The next one is like roll number you can pass the roll number like r and o. So this, and then insert into students my values, okay, name and roll number. Then once you have the query, can we execute that query with what? With my connection object. Okay, why? Because my connection established successfully. Then you can use the connection to execute the query. Connection dot query is the method. Which query you want me to execute? Q. Okay, again it asks like on callback function. Why, you know how much time it will take to execute? I don't know. While executing, you can get the success response or failure also. I don't. So that give one callback method to my query. My query call this particular function. Once my query execution is completed, either failure or success, whatever it is. If failure also, you have to give the response dot send off. Okay, my failure response to my client. If it is like a success also, okay, response dot send off my success to my client. Yes, finally my endpoint ready. So that can we test this endpoint? Okay, how you can test it? Okay, if you see this, there has some error. Error is there. Cannot find cost. Somewhere we use like cost. So that just remove this cost first. Okay, where exactly we are going to use, I will tell. Don't worry about this one. Okay, done. Now come here. Yes, it's running. Can we test it? Okay, how we can test? I'm the server side guy. I want to test this endpoint by using advanced test client. Okay, my request method is like what? Post method. Yes. What is my URL? My URL where my server is running. My server is running on HTTP localhost 2020. Yes. Where is your endpoint? My endpoint inside users. So for my users file, this is my users file. What is the path? Users is my path. So that users is my path. Inside my users file, this is one path and this is one path. Register student is my path. So that we can use this one. You have to pass the data through request body. What you want me to pass? One is like name, student name. Another one is like roll number. With which keys? Name and roll number or not? Why? Because you are retrieving with those keys only here in the server side. You are retrieving the data with those keys only or not. So same keys you can pass it. Yes, done. Now can we send it? Now if we send, see this is the response you get it. Affected rows 1. That means one row affected in your database. So can you come here? Can you check? Okay, can you see this? Browse. Okay, see this? My student S1, my roll number 1. That means inserted successfully. My API call is working as expected or not. If you want to check again, S2 and 2, just click on this one. Click on this one. Yes, my affected rows are like 1. Now, can I browse it? Now see this? Inserted or not? So my endpoint, my REST API call is working as expected. So that come to my diagram now. Come to my diagram now. This part is completed. So who has to connect with this particular server? Who has to connect with this Node.js? Who has to connect with this Node.js? My React application has to connect with the Node.js or not? So that in my React application, can we design one form like this? Design it. Now come here. This is my React application. Can we design the form? Okay, this is like a functional component. Just use hooks. Just use hooks. Okay, how we can just, I want one username. Okay, name, not username, name. This is my text box. This is my text box. The next one is like roll number. Roll number. This is another text box. The next one is like one button. One button I want. The button name is like this input. My type equals to button, and my value equals to what? My value equals to submit. This is my button. Done. Now come here. Now come here. If you check this React application, see name, roll number, and submit button is there or not? It looks like this only or not. At the time of clicking on the submit button, if you want to send the request to the server, okay, how you can send the request from my client? Through Ajax technique or not? Through Ajax. Okay, if you want to send an Ajax request, what mandatory inputs are required? URL and method, and the data format is required. See this already, URL I know, method also I know, data format also I know, so that we can send the request to server or not. In this case, I am only the client side developer, I am only the server side guy, I am only the database admin. Okay, so that everything is developed by me only. So come here. First, I want to take the data from this particular text box. So how we can take the data? By using onChange, I want to take the data. Perfect. Here also by using onChange, I want to take the data. By using onChange, this is my event. Okay, once you take the data, just store the data in one variable. Which variable you know? Okay, that is like one state variable. Just use hook. My data format is like an object format. Why? Because JSON object only, right? You have to send to my server. So this is my variable. My set data is the method to update this data variable. So here, if you made any changes, this method is going to trigger with one event object. Okay, now I want to update this data with this method. So can we update it? Okay, while updating, I want my previous data and my next data. Okay, this particular data I want to keep it. Okay, in which format he is expecting the data? If you see here, my name is the key or not. So that simply you can use my name as a key, and my value is what? Event dot target dot value. Now see this. This is my previous data. Just I'm inserting one more property. Already this property is there. Then the time my previous value updated with this new value. Property is not there. Just it is going to insert. Same like this. Can I copy this one? Can I copy this one? Can I paste here? Can I paste here? Now here my name is like roll number. Now at the time of clicking on this particular button, can I write like on click? On click. Okay, right? Function submit. Submit. Can we create the method here? Okay, how we can? Constant function submit, open one and close one. Okay, here my event is working or not. On click event is working or not. My on change events are working or not. Just check it. Just check it. Okay. Now, if you made any changes here and here, my data object is going to prepare. At the time of clicking on the button, just print the data object instead of sending to the server. Just print it. Make sure it's working or not in your console. Just inspect it. Inspect it. Okay, here my student name is like S3 and my roll number is like 3. Just you can put like my roll number is like 3. If I click on the submit, now see this. This is only right. This is only object you have to send to my server through Ajax or not. So how we can send the request to the Ajax? By using XML HTTP request in JavaScript. By using XML HTTP request. Another one is like by using fetch method. Let me use fetch method. Okay, just write my fetch is the JavaScript method which take one URL as an argument. First one, which URL you want me to hit? This is my URL or not? This URL as a argument. Just pass that URL here, and then it's take one configuration information as an object. Okay, here you can write the method name is like what? Post is the method name, and my data is nothing but a body. It's always like a string format only. JSON.string file. my data. The next one is like a headers. Next one is like a headers. Here, my header type you have to specify. My data is in the string format, but you should have to tell like it's like a JSON format. So my content type, my content, my type, my content type, my content type is like a application JSON. Application JSON. Yes. Now my fetch method. Finally, my fetch method returns me a promise. Promise with what, you know, with some raw data. Some raw data. That raw data you have to convert into a JSON and return it back with my promise again. Okay, my fetch method returns like two promises. Again, one more promise you have to handle. Okay, now here you returns a raw data convert into JSON object with promise. So now I handle that promise with what? Whatever you return this JSON, that JSON I'm going to handle here. This is my actual result. Okay, now can I console.log off? Can I keep this result here? Okay, in my console message, just keep this result. Okay, now can you come here? Can you come here? Can we check? Will it work or not? Okay, now if I put like yes 3 and 3, if I click on the submit, now see this, you can get like a course error. Course error. Okay, just go through this course video in my Node.js course. Why this course error you can get it? Why this course error you can get it? You can understand. Okay, how you can handle this course? Simply I can say like this course issue you have to handle in the server side. Server side. This is my server application by using one library. Which library? You know, course is the library. First of all, install that library in your server application. So that node or npm course npm install course hyphen save. Npm install course hyphen save. Okay. Once you install this course, okay, that course you have to use in your app.js. You have to use in your app.js. Okay, now it's installing. Yes, installed. Okay, can we get that course? Can we get this course? First of all, import the course. My course equals to require my course. Okay, once my app is ready, you can use the course. App.use of my course. App.use of my course. Done. This is the way you can handle course. It's a matter of 2 lines of code. That's it. Okay, if you get this type of errors in the server side, you have to handle this one. Once it is done, now my course handle. If I click on the submit, okay, now see this, you can get this response or not. If you open this one, see my affected rows are like what? 1. That means one row affected in the server side. Okay, one row affected in the database. So that can you come to my database? Can you check it? Yes. Now see my S33 loaded or not. If you want to put some other names, okay, for example, Sachin. Okay, my roll number is like 4. If I click on the submit, see my affected rows are like 1. This is my response. So can you come here? Can I check my Sachin loaded or not? Yes, it's loaded or not. This is the way my end-to-end flow is going to work. You can send the request to my node from my React, and my node is going to insert the data in my MySQL or not. It's a simple end-to-end flow or not. Okay, in my next video, how to deploy this code. So far, these all applications running in my machine. Okay, in my next video, I would like to discuss like how to deploy these 3 applications. Okay, this is my React application and my Node application and my DB server. Okay, MySQL server. Okay, I want to deploy it. Okay, how we can? We'll see in the next video. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.